HDTechLogic. In today's video we're going to look at the new blur editor in YouTube Studio. Let's go over to the video section of it. So here you've got your list of all of your videos. This one's unlisted, but that doesn't matter that much. That's a subscribers only video. So let's get into one of the videos and let's talk about the first one of this series. How it works, series 1, episode 1, and that's the YouTube copyright claims. So if we click on details, then we got this lovely list, and if we go to editor, there's a new blur editor. So let's click get started because we've used this before, and custom blur. Let's do that then. So there's two types of blur before we go and do this. There is the face blur, which you can select a person. Not sure. Oh, that's Avinav from Creator Insider. He was in the video, just like here in the studio somewhere around this mark. Channel violations is where we're to be, but we're not here for that. We're here about the new blur editor and how to use it. So you can apply custom blur, you can see who there is, click on them, and you can click apply and then it will blur their face, or what we're going to be using today, custom blur. So what is custom blur? Custom blur is sort of like your blurring tool where you can sort of do it yourself and you can apply a blur. So as you can see, we've got my intro. As you can see, it's tracked my name, so that it's tracking that, so it makes sure that that's kept on track. And as you can see here, so how does it work? So what we're going to be looking at today is how does the new YouTube blur editor work. So we'll click custom blur, get a custom blur going. And let's get started. So how does the custom blur system work? So the way that it works is that you enable custom blur, it puts the video there. We're not going to continue playing that because it can get a bit annoying after time, but let's turn the volume right down on that video. We'll get rid of this blur for a start, but we want to blur out the full name here. So this one here we can get rid of because it's not doing anything good, that one. So as you can see here, how to use it then. So let's see. So it's currently tracking stuff, so that's a very useful feature. So how does it work? It tracks the object and it will just keep the blurred box on that object. So the new YouTube blur editor is very, very cool, and it's definitely a stage up from the classic blur editor. So what's the new features? Well, one, you can assign it in the editor. You don't have to click a little redirect button anymore. Absolutely great. Not in classic anymore, in the new redesigned studio, which was bought out about a year ago, so not brand new, but if we are addressing classic, then we are talking about this being the newer one and the current one for all channels. So you've got two new options though in terms of the blur. So you can have a rectangle. Now custom blur allows you to do ovals as well. Look here, that's a pretty cool feature, isn't it? Ovals. So you have the classic rectangle, but now you have ovals, and the look and feel of it is much better because it used to just have like a mega blur on it. Now it's still got a good blur on it, but this time there is not as much blur to it as there was originally. So that is very useful because it doesn't stand out as much anymore, and it's just sort of a thing that's there and it doesn't stand out too much anymore. So that's the rectangle one, that's the oval one. That looks very good. I highly recommend you use it. And another feature, so in classic blurring you always had to have it, YouTube had to track the object. They just said, right, we're tracking it, no option. Now as you can see, it's tracking it here. But now we can just choose, hold on, I don't want it to track like that. Fix blur position. And what that means is that now it will just fix the blur in the position and it won't track. Track objects and then it will track. So definitely another very useful feature. Now let's try to use the face blur as well.
How the copyright system.
So let's select Abhinav Creator Insider and let's add him to the face blur. You can see here, there he is, just down there. He was featured
now
here apparently, which is quite interesting.
Upload. You can upload.
I doubt that it was here.
You need to be verified with your phone number.
But yes, it obviously thinks that it was there. Although let's just cancel that out for the moment. Discard. Because we don't currently want to apply our blur on the video when there's no need for it. But custom blur, that's what we're here for. Face blur just works, it's there, it's a useful feature. But it's definitely a very useful new feature to the YouTube Studio. Now being able to apply blurs, face blurs and custom blurs with this much quality to it is amazing. You can now pick what times it happens, so you don't have to drag it on this timeline here. You can zoom in on the timeline as well if you really want to. Quite useful for like cutting out audio and stuff. One thing to note though, when you use the blur editor, this trim button will be greyed out. You can't trim the video once the blur has been applied. That's just because it's a very much a faff-on for the system to process, and as you probably know, if you're blurring faces or objects, you're blurring it and then there's no need to trim it out. So that's about it for this video. So we've given you a brief rundown of how the custom blur and the face blur works. If you've got any questions, queries or general comments to add, feel free to add them in the comments section down below under the video, and we will get back to you if you've got anything. So if you've got any queries or comments or anything that you want to add, just go ahead, pop them down below. We will hopefully reply if we can. And yes, so I hope that you have found this useful. Thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. One final note. If you did enjoy this video, please do consider subscribing, as YouTube Studio Analytics do say that 43% of you are not subscribed. It does help out the channel a lot, and it would be very greatly appreciated if you did press the subscribe button below. And if you did enjoy it, please consider liking. Please do like and subscribe if you did find this video informative or you found it useful, and do feel free to check out the rest of the channel as well. But apart from that, thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video.